Hi, welcome back to our classes, online classes. Good morning, my dear students. Hope you all are doing fine and following the classes what we are doing. Kindly make a note of the things what you go through in the video. Kindly prepare a short notes so that it will be helpful for you. Dear students, today's class is a chapter which is the continuation of overview of computer unit. So that is the first unit, overview of computer. In overview of computer, the first chapter was chapter number 1, where we discussed fundamentals of computers. Today we will be continuing with chapter number 2, and the topic what we will be discussing here is input, output and memory devices. So overview of computer is the unit, and in this unit we have completed the first chapter, that is fundamentals of computers. Today this session we will be starting with chapter number 2, that is input, output and memory devices. Let us get started with this topic and see what all things we will be learning today. So this is overview of computer part 6, chapter number 2, input, output and memory devices. So let us start with a recap, or let us recall the topics what we have studied in our previous classes. In our previous class we had a discussion, very detailed discussion as to application of computers. We studied how computers are used in various areas, various walks of life. We had discussed the usage of computers in schools and colleges, banks, offices, satellite communication, entertainment, research and development, computer aided manufacturing, stock exchange, and also how computers are helpful in making trips or during travel. And also we had learned how computers help us to get different information from the government offices through their websites. So these are the topics what we studied in the previous class. So let us recall the applications of computers, where we studied how computers are helpful to us in maintaining records in the and also preparing ID cards in the schools and colleges, and to record the transactions we are using computers in banks, and to do different documentation work computers are used in office, and satellites in entertainment for cloning and superimposing of the images and remixing, and many other purpose we are using computers. Similarly, we had also discussed how computers are used in industries which help us in various ways of manufacturing different products. And also in stock exchange we also studied how computers sitting at one place helps us in buying and selling the different shares. And also computers are used during travel to know the destination, the duration, and to book tickets, to book airline tickets, to book hotels. We are using computers. To access the information about the government, it is possible through their websites, and there also we are using computers. So these are the some of the topics where we had a discussion of areas where computers are helpful to human beings. Let us start with the new chapter, chapter number 2, input, output and memory devices. Chapter number 2, it is a part of overview of computer unit. In overview of computer unit, first chapter is fundamentals of computers and second chapter is input and output devices. Let us check out the different objectives of this particular chapter. What is the purpose? What are we studying? Why are we studying this chapter? After completing this chapter, what all things you will be learning? The objectives of this chapter is to identify the types and purpose of specialized input devices, output devices, memory devices, storage devices and cache memory. So this chapter will help us to identify. What does it help to identify? It helps us to identify input devices, output devices, memory, storage and cache memory. We begin the session with input devices. What is the use of input device? If any data has to be fed to a computer system, we will be using input devices. With the help of input devices, we can feed the data into a computer system. The human understandable form, that is, we understand English, Kannada or any other language. That is human understandable language. Humans, that is we understand Kannada, English, Hindi, Urdu and many other languages. But a computer understands its own language called machine language. A computer understandable language is also called machine language, that is a language of zeros and ones. Digital or it can be analog signals also. Input devices are capable of converting the data into a form which can be recognized by the computer. So, what is the job of a input device? They are capable of converting the data into computer understandable language, that is zeros and ones. A computer can have several input devices. There can be many devices connected to a computer system, namely keyboard, mouse, joysticks, OCR, OMR and MICR. These are some of the input devices. They also say that input and output devices connect the external world to the computer system. That is because the data or information about the external world can be fed into the computer using input devices. Let us look the most commonly used input device, that is keyboard. As you must be very familiar with the structure of the keyboard. So a keyboard can have, you might have seen a keyboard with functional keys, special keys, some lock keys, numeric keys and then we have A to Z and 0 to 9 digits and special symbol keys and also we see direction keys and a separate numerical pad or numpad we say. Keyboard is the most commonly used input device. Keyboard is very similar to a typewriter. Keyboard, it helps the user to type the data, enter the data into the computer. So they have alphabetic keys, that is A to Z keys, numeric keys, that is 0 to 9 digits. They also include some punctuation keys such as dot, comma, colon, semicolon. To perform specific operations such as saving a file, opening a file, exit, we are using special keys called special function keys. So this is about the keyboard. Let us have a look as to the different types of keyboards available. The different types of keyboards available are standard keyboard, ergonomic keyboard, wireless, virtual and compact keyboards. So let us start and study each one of them in detail. Let us begin with the standard keyboard. Standard is generally used in most of the computers. The standard keyboard have basic layout. In an average, they will have 105 to 108 keys. There may be slight variation of 5 to 6 keys extra. Especially the characters, the pattern of the keys is Q, W, E, R, T, R. This is the pattern which is commonly used by many keyboards. In the first row itself, there will be keys arranged in key Q, W, E, R, T, R. Q, W, E, R, T, Y. Next comes the ergonomic keys. Say sometimes the keys on the keyboard is very hard and continuously working on that may cause some stress and some injuries. Ergonomics refers to the study of method which reduces stress on muscles. When a keyboard is used repeatedly, there will be some sort of stress on the muscles. So it can be avoided in ergonomics keyboard. It mostly deals with optimizing the posture and technique while working. So the work can be carried out easily or easiest manner with least possible strain on the muscle or joint. Ergonomic keyboards are designed in such a way that the typing can be done by putting the least amount of stress. That means the fingers and wrist can be used on an ergonomic keyboard, very soft it can be used. There is no much strain required while operating this keyboard. Then we have wireless keyboard. As we know that generally a keyboard comes with a wire. So that will be connected to CPU. But wireless keyboard gives us the freedom to take the keyboard away from the computer and sit and work wherever we want to work. Wireless keyboard does not need to be connected to the computer through a wire. This makes it very convenient for the user to use keyboard comfortably because so you need not sit in front of the computer by connecting keyboard. So you can sit anywhere and then you can type the data. Then how does a wireless keyboard works? A wireless keyboard works with Bluetooth, infrared rays and radio frequency, and they are connected to the computer with the help of batteries. And the transmitter and the receiver, they work from the computer. It can be about 1 to 40 feet distance. You can sit away from the computer 1 to 40 feet away and then you can work on the wireless computer because it communicates to the computer through infrared or Bluetooth. Next we have virtual keyboards. Virtual keyboards are software devices that let you input data just like a hardware keyboard. They open us as an application and can be controlled by a mouse or via a touch screen. So virtual keyboard, most of you are using smartphones. In a smartphone, whenever you try to type a message, there will be a list of keys coming up on the screen. Physically you don't find those keys, but those keys appear as soon as you press the message button. That is, the virtual key is given by the message application. So if you don't press message application, those keys will not come. So suppose if you are searching for some information in the Google, some search engine like Google. So as soon as you open that and when you press a key, you can see the virtual keys coming up on the screen using which you can type the information whatever you want. Virtual keyboard will do the same work as the hardware keyboard, but there will be no physical keys. Like when you sit in the computer, you can see keys. When you type some message on the smartphone, there will be no buttons, but there will be a virtual keyboard. They are mainly used in the devices which do not require a keyboard, like a tablet or a smartphone. They are useful as they aid in making the size of the device smaller. Virtual keyboards are also used in situations concerning security, as anything entered on the ordinary keyboard can be recorded. So that leads to the security risks. Therefore, to enter passwords and PIN numbers, the virtual keyboards can be used. Next is compact keyboard. As you can see, many devices like notebook or laptops, they will have a keyboard embedded within itself, which are very slim and they are very light. So compact keyboards are very slim and they usually do not have numeric pads. They are present in the right side of the keyboards. These compact keyboards are generally used in, as I told you, in laptops they are used. They make up a small size and these keyboards rely on the usage of multiple keys to carry out functions that would only use a single key in the standard keyboard. There are many compact keyboards, many models. Some models are available for touchpad and some models are instead of mouse we can use touchpad. They are extremely smaller in size and they are easy to carry. So they are called as portable. So the another benefit of compact keyboard is that you can use by the people with certain disabilities. So some disabilities people, they also can use this easily. Next comes mouse. Mouse is an input device. So it controls the movements of the cursor on the screen. Generally the display is divided into or it is mapped into graphical dots called pixels. So the number of pixels depend upon the resolution of the screen. Mouse is a small device. Generally the old mouse had a rubber ball and today's mouse we have a infrared rays kept inside the mouse, that is on the bottom of the mouse. When the mouse is moved, the ball position also moves and that makes the cursor position to move on the screen. So you need to click on the mouse to select some of the options. So there are many different types of mouse available, that is manual mouse, scroll mouse, USB and wireless. These days the manual mouse is not used. So these days we use generally a scroll mouse or a USB mouse or wireless mouse. Then we have joysticks. Joystick is also an input device. Generally it is used to control the direction or to control the movements of the device. Generally joysticks, it is a gaming device. Generally joystick is used for video games. It is used to play video games. It is also an input device. So let us see more details of joysticks. Joysticks are used to control the video games or simulated programs. They also have push buttons. A popular variation of the joysticks used in modern game is analog stick. Joysticks are also used to controlling machines such as cranes, trucks, underwater manned vehicles, surveillance cameras and zero turning radius lawn mowers, miniature finger operated joysticks. They can be used for smaller electronic equipments, not only for playing games, they are also used to control cranes, trucks, underwater vehicles, etc. Then we have OMR, OCR and MICR. OMR, OCR and MICR also called as optical reading devices. They used to read some shapes, symbols, characters, etc. Let us check each one of them and see why are they used. First, let us start with OMR, optical mark reading and recognition. So, as you can see on the left part of the screen, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 followed by 4 options 1, 2, 3, 4 and the options are shaded. So, in the first question 3 is shaded, that means answer is 3. See, what happens is there will be a pre-printed format given on which there are some shading done. So, special pre-printed forms are designed with boxes which can be marked with a pencil or ink. Such documents are read by the OMR, so which transcribes the marks into electrical pulses and transmit to the computer. They are widely used in the application where objective type of answers are evaluated. Imagine a KAS or IAS exam where crores of people take the exam. So, to evaluate that, OMRs are used because they scan the sheets and give the results immediately. Next comes OCR, optical character recognition. So, optical character recognition, as OMR recognizes the marks, OCR recognizes the printed characters. So, it permits the direct reading of the character without special ink. OCR can scan a page from the book. The computer will recognize the characters in the page as characters and punctuation marks and stores it. So, it is generally used to copy the information so that the editing work can be done easily. OCR stands for optical character recognition. Next comes MICR, magnetic ink character recognition. So, you can see on the screen there is a check that is issued in a bank. Generally, MICR is used in banks. For what? For processing checks. There are some digital data printed on a check. So, kindly make a note, kindly ask your parents and check for a check and just check the last line printed on the check. There will be some digital data printed in some unique font. By seeing that we will not understand anything, but if I feed that check to the MICR, that from that check we can obtain some information such as account number, bank name, many other details. MICR is generally used to process checks in a bank. The check can be a special input where we can recognize or see some information such as account number, check number, etc. This is about the input devices. Next class we will be learning about the output devices in detail. Hope you have understood today's topic. Kindly make a notes of the topics what we have discussed in the class. Thanks for the patience listening. Have a great day ahead. God bless you all.